Welcome into the pregame show, and it's the playoffs. We got to the third season with Toby, Foreman, and the boys. How's it feel, brother?
It feels good. I mean, you always want to, end up in the playoffs. That's what the goal is at the beginning of the season, or that's what one of the goals is. But we're not just satisfied with being in the playoffs. We want to have success and win games in the playoffs.
Well, you got some practice last week. Took on Granbury, and I tell you what, a lot of kids got to play. A lot of kids look good. Saw a lot of good stuff offensively and defensively. Really amazed on how you move kids in, and you just don't miss a beat. The kid picks up right where the last kid left off, and it just, I could hardly tell that you were changing offenses and defenses. It was running that smooth, Bubby.
Well, I will tell you, it has been next man up mentality around here. But the thing about Granbury is going into that game, they held Red Oak to 20 points. So we were concerned because they had played so well, and that was a home game for them. But I just think that far in the season, I think they were banged up a little bit, and we caught them all night where they were definitely having an off night. But kudos to them because they fought to the very end. But we did perform well last week, and we played them on Thursday, which gives us a little extra breathing room over the weekend, and then we had a really good week of practice this week getting ready for Aledo.
Yeah, 73 to.
It was 75 to
75,
6 or 7. I
that
think.
is a
I'm not
school
sure.
record. Nobody's ever scored that many points at Shoemaker High School.
No, it was a lot of points, and we had 11 possessions, we scored all 11. When you go in that game or any game, you can't say, well, let's score 75. Now, it's just kind of one of them things that between the turnovers and the field position, and we played really good on special teams, it just kind of happened. And so at the end of the day, I was pleased with the performance on offense, defense, and special teams. But we still have areas that we need to clean up, and that's something we worked on this week like we do every week.
Yeah, and you're able to get some kids healthy. A little more healthy. And are you the most healthy you've been all year right now, Toby, going into this game against Aledo?
Well, you're never as healthy as you are going into week one,
right.
But we're pretty healthy for this late in the year. I'm pleased with where we're at. Injuries are not going to be the difference in this game, regardless of who's playing where. And because I know they got guys, I'm sure, that are injured. They know we have people that are injured as well. It's just, some of them are more visible than others at certain positions. Of course, when you change quarterbacks, there's a reason why. And so people, they want to talk about that. But at the end of the day, hey, whoever's behind the center, we expect them to perform. All of our kids have unique qualities. It's my job to figure out those qualities and, call plays that fit their abilities. And so that's something that we do. Same thing on defense. If we got guys that are down here and down there, we may go from an odd front to an even front or man-to-man zone, depending upon who we have and who's out and whatnot, because everybody's different. But at the end of the day, we practice a variety of different things, both offensively, defensively, scheme-wise, offensively, defensively, and special teams, and we expect our guys to be able to hold up.
And you got to get ready for a tough team last year. This is a team that knocked you out, the Aledo Bearcats, but this isn't the same Shoemaker team that went to Aledo last year, that's for sure.
No, and I think, their coach said this in one of his interviews is, there's a lot of guys that played in this game last year for both teams, and then there's some new guys. And so, but the kids are excited about the opportunity. When you play a team like Aledo with the tradition they have, you know what they're bringing to the table. They're bringing to the table 12 rings, and that's a big deal. Coming from a guy that has been a part of a program that has, 4 rings in football, I can semi-relate to a traditional program, a successful program. And so, I know what that's about. And what it is about is every time they step foot on the field, they expect to win the game, And so that's something we've got to match. We've got to match their energy. We've got to match their expectations, because when the ball's kicked off, the rest of the stuff doesn't matter. It's who performs for 48 minutes on offense, defense, and special teams.
And there's not going to be an empty seat on their side for sure.
No, it's going to be a packed house. They're banned and, a home game for them. And but they earned that with a 10-0 record. And so they're the higher seed, and it stinks for us. We don't want to play in Aledo. We'd rather play right here, Leo Buckley. But we don't have that option. And so we didn't take care of our business during the regular season. The good thing about the postseason is, though, everybody is 0-0. And, whoever the team is in 5A Division I's and all divisions that can put together a string of 6 straight wins is going to have a ring on their finger at the end of the year. And it starts with this week, and our goal is just like it has been all year, is to go 1-0. And if we'll do that, you and I will be doing this interview next week at this time.
Oh yeah. We're going to do that anyway. But tell me some of their guys we need to keep an eye on for.
Okay, so the first guy is the quarterback. You got Hedgney. Hedgney's a guy that he makes a ton of plays. He's all over the place as far as throwing the ball and running the ball. They definitely would not be where they're at without him because he's a special guy. He's like an elite 11 guy, all that stuff. He's got Hedgney. He's got all the accolades, offers, all that good stuff. The next man is the running back, Racine Guillory. He's a transfer in, but he's a 4-star back. The running back last year, they moved him to a slot, which is Hawk Patrick Daniels. He did a good job. Number one, he did a really good job for him. Their O-line is spectacular. They got Caden Finley, sophomore receiver. His daddy played in the NFL. He's a wide receiver for him. Trace Clarkson, he did a really good job last year. He's a really good receiver. They got some guys. Number 86, tight end, H-back, Tyson Timms. He does a good job on the offense side of the ball. When you flip to the defense, they're led by their free safety, number 0, Jake Gillespie, whose daddy is a defense coordinator at TCU, and number 3, Devon Keys, who's a LSU commit, as well as, and I think this guy's as good of a cornerback there is. He's an SEC guy as well. He's going to be Jaden Allen. His brother plays for Texas. He plays at. He's going to Arkansas when he graduates, and he, in my opinion, he's the best cornerback in the state of Texas. He's a guy, so you got to account for him. But their defensive line, number 43, Jackson Richter, kind of leads the way there. They got safeties, number 19. Boogie Owens. I mean, even their names are cool. You know what I'm saying? The other cornerback, number 6, Chris Johnson. They got a lot of talent on this team, and we've got to be able to play and not make mistakes because they'll capitalize on those mistakes, both offensively and defensively in special teams.
I think you have an advantage because of all the kids you've played this year and all the kids that have got playing times because of those injuries, and they come in and excelled, and some of them have actually taken over the position of the injured player, and you're moving them in and out, and you're able to do that. So you have a lot more kids to work with that are quality kids. Yeah,
I mean, we've played a good amount of people this year. We played everybody on the roster multiple games, and so there's a lot of good quality youth that have gotten minutes and seniors that have gotten minutes. So, like I said, I highlight, I think they have 37 seniors. Anytime you have that many seniors, they're very resilient, and so we got 21 seniors that'll be resilient, and so it's going to come down to who wants it the most and who's going to make the least errors. That's just bottom line.
Boy, it's going to be a good game, and you're playing in a stadium named after a Killeen High School grad, Tim Buchanan, of course, the man that won all those rings there at Aledo, was a Killeen High Kangaroo, of course, that grew up here in Killeen, so it's kind of ironic that you're going up there to play at Bearcat. The Bearcats at Tim's Stadium that's named after him, a Killeen guy.
Yeah,
it's ironic.
Well, Coach Buchanan was great, to coach against last year, and like I said, I hate that we didn't come up with a better outcome of that game, but he was a very professional, classy guy, and what better person to name the stadium after than him? I mean, he's a highly successful guy. He did win most of those state championships, and nothing but respect for him. But also, Coach Jones, the guy that took over, he was a coordinator on that staff, and he's moved into that role, and he has no losses. He's a perfect record so far, and this is his first playoff game, I believe, as a head coach. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the guys that are out there on the field on Friday night and what they perform like and how they've been prepared. So we know what to expect. It's you're going into a hostile environment on the road and tradition-rich program, and for us, it's we've got to go up there and match that energy early, and we've got to go compete and not be intimidated by all the rings, all the banners, all the stuff on the turf. All that stuff doesn't matter. It's a 120 by 52 yard field, and we've got to be better than them inside those dimensions.
I'm picturing you right now in the Hoosiers movie, measuring the goal, saying this is the same thing we got back at the house, boys, right here.
I will tell you what.
No different.
I will tell you what. That's That's one of my favorite movies, and that's definitely that's probably my dad's favorite sports movie for sure.
Yeah.
But that is a good example. I mean, it was a little different context when Hackman did that, but it's basically to show that, the field dimensions and the goalpost height in Aledo is the same it is right here at General Shoemaker's field. It's no different. So, but you're right. That was a good analogy. But my expectations are going to be the same. We want to go out there and, the kids are saying, go out there and shock the world. But we want to go out there and just play our game and do the best we can do. And, you keep this thing close, you never know. You never know what happens late in the game. I do believe that I'm smart enough to know, and I've seen enough football, we got to play a very good game. We got to play our best game of the year. And we've not played that game yet, but it's in us. That game is in us. You look at their Denton-Ryan game was a close ball game, 24-19. They beat Denton-Guyer early in the year, 48-45. So it's not that they are unbeatable. It's just, they have history on their side, and that's a big deal, and for us, we are building history. We're building a tradition. And man, but what greater way to make a staple, in this community and in this state and this region, than knocking off a top tier team like that, because that's something that, you look back in the biggest wins in the history of this program, Coach Hall and those guys beating Midway back in the day, 7-3. Us really getting over that San Angelo Central hump, teams like that are moving into beating Lake Belton last year. We've had some really big wins, but nothing like this. I mean, this would be a huge win for our program, and to do it on their turf, that would be a big deal. That would be a very big deal.
Just keep that offense rolling, baby, and keep that defense stiff. We'll be good to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what the game plan is. And I want to thank everybody that came out to this game and everyone that supported us all year, started from our booster club to our administration, our families, coaches' families, our fan base, the community, KISD. It means a lot to us, and it means a lot to our kids, and we just appreciate this. And I know the kids really do feel the love.
Oh, yeah. We love you. We love you. And I'll be there supporting you, brother. From my easy chair, though. I'll be keeping up with it. So keep up I-14. We'll keep you up to date on scores and everything like that. So don't worry about that, baby.
Well, Dan, we appreciate everything you do for us. And as always, go Gray Wolves.
You're watching I-14 Sports Network.